Alright, hello and welcome. I'm Mara28 and this is episode 36 of SHADOWCRAFT. So, today is going to be a day where I fix some mistakes. Most notably, my mistakes with my designs of my factory here. For quite a few episodes, this place has pretty much sat abandoned. I've not really done anything with it. The main issue I've been running into is that I had not been able to find a satisfactory way to continue the ore processing chain. The good news is, one of the methods that I had originally tried is working again, so I mean, resin induction is pretty much finished at this point, and a lot of the bugs and stuff have been ironed out. There's still a few things that need to be fixed, but as of right now, I can actually finish making the factory, which is great. The bad news, when I set this up originally, it was for 4 types of ore. It was for iron, copper, gold, and tin. The unfortunate news is that now in my pack it's actually supporting aluminum and desh from SHADOWCRAFT, which is actually pretty good, I suppose. It's always nice to have an additional way to do some ore doubling stuff. The problem I run into is, if you're paying close attention here, I only have 4 bays for each of these machines, and this was laid out for 4 bays, so this is not going to work. I'm going to need to basically tear this down and redo it again. And I figure if I'm going to do that, I may as well also take the opportunity to get rid of the Project Red pipes, because while they are kind of neat, I've had so many issues because of these things that if I can set this up without using those pipes, I'm going to. And I really don't want to just blame the pipes and say they're terrible, don't use them. They have improved them. The problem to this being, the version that they've improved them for is in Minecraft 1.7.2. This is still Minecraft 1.6.4, so it does me absolutely no good. So, what I need to do, and I mean, you know what, may as well just get started doing it. I need to tear all of this down, and I need to also make sure that I can redo my power options here. Right now, I'm basically powering all of the pistons off of this outer water silo over here. And while that does work, I think I'd rather unify my power sources a little bit. Just, you know, make things a little bit more tidy. So what I am thinking of doing is I am actually going to, I kind of like the way that how the braking thing is set up here, but I think I could do better, a little bit more compact. And in an effort to make it feel kind of more like a factory, I want to have it set up so that you can actually see the items as they move through the various processing stages. And I'll be honest, I'm not so sure if I can do it well, but we're going to find out. Come on, break glass. There we go. I'm not expecting this to actually be too hard to do. I mean, it's a fairly simple idea. Oh, how about we break that instead? Oh, if I break that, do I lose the contents? Yes, I did. Alright, that's a note to self. Do not break full... There we go. Alright, so this is definitely a lot easier to tear down than it was to put up. Let's go and put some stuff away. Don't need you, don't need you. Don't mind all of those gears. I do not actually need all those. Alright, and let's just tear off this stuff too. So anyway, for the stuff that we're going to be doing with this, what I'm thinking of doing is something I had originally toyed with. Oh, I just did it again, didn't I? Yeah, there goes. Well, I suppose that wasn't a terrible loss. What I'm considering doing is having it so that I have a common pool grinder set up. I really don't need an individual grinder per type of material. What I can do is I can go ahead and just make like a really big one, and that should be okay. I mean, right now, the way I have it set up, I have an individual grinder for each metal type, and it does work. It's a little bit overkill, but it works. Just by the nature of the setup, though, it's a bit better because you'll never have something sitting to the point that it might be in danger for despawning. And I'll have to be honest, I don't know if resonant induction prevents items waiting to be ground up from despawning, so I'm not going to make that assumption that it does. There we go. And as useful as these pipes are, though, they have got to go. They've caused me so many headaches. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. I've also run into another problem, though. It's not really a... well, no, it's a problem. So as it turns out, in my particular pack, I have applied energistics, right? And I would like to use it eventually. The issue that I'm having is that, as it turns out, I have no way to make ground nether quartz. I pretty much could only do it using the applied energistics grinder, which is disabled. So I might need to re-enable that, and I really don't want to have to make all that stuff by hand. I had been hoping that maybe I could cook it up in resonant induction, just put a little bit of quartz on a grinding wheel and watch it get ground down to powder. That unfortunately does not work. That would be awesome if it worked, but it does not work. Can I clear that? No, I can't. Okay. Let's just put you in the chest. Alright, so we've got a bit of a cleaner area over here. So rather than keep going through this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to clear this down. I am going to fill in any holes that I might have, take down any extra thick walls that we don't need anymore, or you know what, I might actually leave some of the thick walls just in case we need to run wiring and stuff. But I am going to go ahead and tear down the rest of the bay here for the grinding wheels, and then I'll get rid of the pipes and stuff, and I will see you afterwards. Alright, so this is what an empty shell of a building looks like. Not really that it was anything but an empty shell of a building to begin with, but let's go with the benefit of the doubt here. So one of the things that we're going to do when we fix this up, we are going to correctly have it follow the progression of processing to go from the actual step of crushing to grinding to washing and then eventually to smelting. And we're going to go in that order. So before we had it, it was actually crushing over here to make the rubble, and then it was grinding the rubble to make the dust over here. So it was kind of backwards. The next step would have had washing like over on this side, so it wouldn't have flowed right, if that makes any sense. We're going to correct that. So actually what I'm thinking of doing is, I had originally wanted this area to be like a little storeroom. I could still do that, but that's probably not going to happen until I get something like applied energistics, or if I really want to invest more into the item transfer nodes from extra utilities, which while they do work, they're not terribly fast without upgrades, and I'd rather not sink my gold and redstone into those. I have a few lying around, but I'd rather not. I do not want to make the amount that I would need for factory. So what we are going to do for now, we need placers. We need a grand total of 6 of these guys. And that is totally the wrong spot. Alright. Now for each of... oh, hey, you can see the text still on the side. That's a little wonky. It's kind of freaky, actually. Anyway, so for each of these, we need a mechanical piston, which is, unfortunately, either going to need to be set in the wall, or these guys got to come out one. Yeah, I hate to say, I think they got to come out one. Because if I put a piston right there, it's going to go down. If I tell it to bash up, it's just going to drop the stuff down on itself, which isn't going to be too useful. I could have it come to the side, but I have to space it out further. Let's see how that goes. Oh, there you go. Do I want the pistons coming from the right or the left? Let's have it coming from the right side going left. Alright, so this is the actual piston block. This will be the block where something gets placed, and that'll be the placer. Alright, and we will have the actual power coming from the wall on that side, so that should be okay. And then we're going to do the same thing over here, and we're not going to leave a lot of space for this, because we need to get 6 of these guys in here, so it's going to be fairly tight. And it's just basically, going to keep repeating what we're doing right here. Except we're going to put that piston in the wrong spot. That's a good spot. Alright, and I'm actually running out of space. Alright, so that's okay. And then the very last one, this guy's going to go right here. And that'll go right there. Okay, so that's good. So when this gets powered up, we'll have our various metals that come down. The item will break, fall down. Alright, so that's good. Okay, now over here we're going to have our grinding bay. And previously I had individual little grinding areas, and I really don't need to do that. I'm going to see how it goes by setting up 3 grinding wheels, with each wheel having its own 2 metals. And the way I figure I'll do it, I'll pair a relatively common metal with a relatively uncommon metal. So like iron and aluminum are probably going to be my very most common, followed by copper, and then tin and gold will be fairly rare, as will dash. Especially considering I don't even get dash until I go to the moon. Well, to Mars rather. And these will be somewhat controlled just like they were before. They're going to be triggered by item detectors so that we don't have these guys running if we don't need them. Get back here. So that's one. How far do we want these guys spaced? I suppose that's okay. Oh, and did I mention how I wanted to actually transport these items, right? We're using conveyors. There are actually conveyors and resonant induction, which I wanted to use, but there's no good way to sort using those guys. And I have managed to lose them already. No, there they are. They are right here. They look pretty neat, and you're able to make them do all kinds of neat stuff. You can have them go up a little bit. You can have them go up to a second block. You can have them take up the top half of a block. And they work pretty much like the MFR ones, except the MFR ones work with item routers and stuff. These guys don't. Alright. And these guys are noisy. The MFR ones are not. And then this will just basically run along the wall here. Nope, I don't want to do that. Oh, now I need an axe. These guys are a pain in the butt to break. Can I punch you guys? Nope, looks like they're here forever. Lesson learned. Oh, jeez. Yeah, no, they can stay there for now. They deserve it. Alright, and basically we're just going to have these conveyors down here to catch stuff as it falls. So, I mean, it's fairly simple, right? I mean, stuff drops and then it goes boom. Tell you what, do we have a hand crank? We do, and I have some gears, so I might actually be able to demo this. Okay, there we go, gear. Okay, let's put this guy right there. I'm not sure how long this will take, but just to see if it does work right, what should happen is that as we're turning this, it should eventually break it, and then it gets caught right on the conveyor and it goes down the line. And that should be a relatively steady process. So it should break and then immediately go down. It looks like it's getting a little bit of lag showing it come over here, but it's otherwise it's catching on fairly well. And now they should be over here on the floor, right? Yep, there we go. Oh, we're not breaking that. Okay. So this is going to come out a little bit further. Can't go up here, it can go up there. And there. Over. Nope. I seem to have made a miscalculation. Get off, thank you. What I need actually is a precision sledgehammer, and I believe I might have all the stuff I need on my person to make this. It won't go to that conveyor there, will it? That's the wrong way. Well, that's just derpy. That's unfortunate. It won't go up to the next tier of the platform. Well, there goes that brilliant idea. And where did you go? There you go. Just for now, we're going to put the few of these back in. There we go. Just right along the wall here. You can rotate. As can you, and actually if we shift, there we go. So that's pretty good, right? And that should ride all the way up here. And then when it hits this bit, it should go up. It looks kind of weird, but it does go up. I think this will work. And what we'll do is every now and then we'll just put one of these guys to look like it's a spacer. So say every, so that's 1, 2, 3, skip, and then 1, 2, 3, skip. Hey, that worked out perfectly. It's like I planned it or something. Okay, and then right up here, we want this to run right into the next one that is going flat, because if it goes too far up, it's just going to go hit the wall and not go anywhere. So this one has to go flat this way. And we're going to use ore for a pillar. And then you can go up. Oh, this is working good. Now up here, unfortunately, I think I'm going to need to switch back over to the conveyor belts. Whoa. Alright. There we go. And then basically this line is going to dead end here. And I suppose I could have like an extra collection point for like excess stuff going this way. And we have some item routers that we're going to use. They're going to go there. Yeah, I definitely need to move these grinding wheels down. They're too high. I lost a wheel. Yep, I lost a wheel. Is it on this side? There you are. Alright. And then we'll have something like this will be, say, iron and tin, aluminum and gold, and then copper and dash. Actually, you know what? Probably aluminum and dash. Yeah. Aluminum dash, iron, tin, copper, gold. Sounds good. Alright, and let's see if this stuff climbs up properly. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. Okay, that worked. I wonder if I can have the MFR ones in between the resonant induction ones. Oh, get off. No, get me off. No, it doesn't work right. That's unfortunate. Alright. However, this is actually going pretty good so far. And then what'll happen is I'll need to go ahead and key each of these guys with the proper sorting stuff, and I'll need to make sure that it is set to reject unmapped. And then we have these guys here, and what's going to happen is we'll have additional conveyors down below to catch stuff as it falls. And then the next step is going to be to the ore washing. I am not going to be putting the ore washing stuff together right now. That'll be done for the next episode. And including that is also going to be the smelting of the ores and stuff. Alright, so it's time for a quick experiment here. If you notice right here, we have a block called a sorter. The very basic thing what a sorter will do is it will take an item that falls onto and eject it out to a set side as determined by an imprint. So by itself right now, it will take something that falls on it and put it in a random direction. It's not terribly useful by itself. What we can do to make it useful is we take an imprint, put it inside this imprinter here, and put an item on top of it that we want it to filter. Alright, so like say, what do I have an abundance of on me right now? Say iron ingots, right? If you put that right in the center, and then hit this button, if we look at the imprint, it now says imprint iron ingot. And say we want all iron ingots to come out that side. So now every time an iron ingot would go through the sorter, it's going to eject through the blue phase. You can also configure this guy to ignore everything except, well, you can set it to ignore what's on the imprint or to only follow the imprint. And if it's set to ignore the imprint, it is a red color instead of the blue. What we are going to do though is we get this going, we're going to see if this counts for stuff on top of it. And I don't know how, but I already lost the sledge. Okay, see if this goes through. I don't know if it'll pull through the conveyor. It will not. That stinks. However, if I run it into the conveyor, I know it will work. I just can't think of any good way to sort these frickin' conveyors. What if it runs behind it? No difference. It'll only do anything if it runs directly into the block itself. So that does what you would expect. And just make sure I'm not crazy. No, get off, get off, get off, get off. And now we just made a loop. That's not good. Of course, this is also a loop now. Oh, that's interesting. Huh, that's reversed. It's rendering on the wrong side. That should be on this side. What side is that? It's the west and the east. Okay. While this is fun to watch, it is ultimately not helpful. Alright, so I've been testing around with this off camera a bit. And I am actually getting a really weird bug. Currently what is happening is that every now and then while processing materials with this flush against the wall, it will actually eat the material. It'll just disappear, goes nowhere. The nearest thing that I can figure is happening, I know that there was a vanilla bug that if an item like entered a block, it would either like go shoot straight up or it would shoot straight down. How the heck did you get up there? But I mean, I'm not seeing anything like up here. And there's no... I'm not seeing any of the ore and stuff up here on the other side of the wall, so I'm not quite sure what's going on at the moment. I probably need to take a little bit of time and fix this up a bit. Try to find something that works a little bit better, maybe kick this out away from the wall. The previous setup I had been using, this was actually offset a little bit, and I think it probably worked better that way. If I do that, I might actually be able to raise the... well, I could lower the platform while bringing out the grinding wheels, and just making it so that there's a little bit more space for this stuff to fall. Just as an example what I'm talking about. Okay, we got the router back, right? Good. So if we have like the router right, so I don't know, here, we'll have a block for space. Space, thank you. And then grinding wheel, right? So what would happen is as the item goes off, it would just drop down right here. So instead of having it go for black, it'll go for yellow. What I put in there? Wood? Yeah, I put wood in there. And yes, reject unmapped. So that should like drop right on the wheel. I mean, that should work, I believe. The only thing that might be an issue is if that rotates in towards the item router, it might continually refresh itself. Or just pass through. Okay, so yeah, that would be problematic. Ow. Yeah, and don't walk on these things, they hurt. Is there anything I have that can actually grind? No, there isn't. Okay, one last little test. Okay, we're gonna grind it. Well, we're gonna crush it rather. Okay, there we go, copper rubble. And then we're gonna chuck that up top. Okay, so since it's set to reject unmapped, it's actually doing what we would expect it to do. But let's see if we have copper set there. Ow. I guess that works. You definitely don't want to manually crank this thing to grind. It takes way too long. But I think part of the problem that I'm running into is that it's... See, that disappeared too. Or is it over? No, it's gone. I don't know what's up with this. I've got to figure out what's going on here. Anyway, for now, I want to go ahead and thank you for... Ooh, creeper. I want to thank you for watching this episode of SHADOWCRAFT. If you have any questions or comments, please leave a message below, and as always, have a good day.